All right, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Mouse Minds. We have a full house this week. I am so excited, beyond excited, because everybody is here this week. So this is going to be an awesome show. Of course, we are streaming for you live on all your favorite streaming platforms, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, you name it. We even I heard we were live streaming on the stage in Tomorrowland at Magic Kingdom too, but I don't know. That's what I heard, but who knows? You know, hey.
If you heard it, it must be true.
I guess it's a little Disney magic. You know, I called a friend and he made it happen. Yeah, that's what's happening. So to all of you riding the People Mover, hello. Hi. And Michael's riding it right now, so he can give us a perspective of if he sees us on the Tomorrowland stage.
I can't tell if that's you or Stitch, Robert. I'm not sure. Somebody down there.
Well, you know, I can be a little mischievous, so maybe it is Stitch. Or maybe it is maybe I am Stitch. All right. Well, we definitely want to thank you guys for joining us this week. And as always, every Tuesday with us here at 8:30. We love talking to you guys. And let's say hi to everybody. We got Michael, Luella, Lisa. Everybody say hi. Welcome.
Hi. Welcome.
Hi.
So it's so great to have everybody here to chat. And we came up with a fun topic for this week's episode. And it's one that I really think we can spend a lot of time on because I think we all have different opinions on this. And I was actually thinking about this last night because I was at Epcot, but and we'll talk more about that later. But we are going to be talking about After Dark, the best nighttime experiences at Disney parks. Now, what I mean by that is I'm going to leave it pretty general here. So if you want to just tell us what your favorite nighttime park is, or you want to talk about your favorite nighttime show or your favorite after hours event, anything to do at night in the parks, we want to hear about it. And we want to hear from you watching us live. Leave your comments. Let us know what you think. We want to hear what you think. What are your favorite things to do at night when you're at the parks having fun and ending out that day on a high note? So tell us what your favorite things are. I'm specifically excited to talk to Luella because Disneyland has had some pretty amazing after hours events. The one that stands out the most to me I think was the 90s night. That was probably one of the coolest, I think, events that Disney has done. And they really went into the whole theme. I believe they were even giving out 90s themed like fanny packs and stuff, which was pretty awesome. So lots of cool stuff going on there. So whoever wants to kick this off, let's go.
Well, Disneyland does have amazing evening parties. You mentioned 90s night, Sweethearts night is really popular, because we don't get we do have a Halloween party, but that takes place at DCA. And the way how things go here, we don't have a Christmas party because everything's included in the regular tickets. So at Disneyland, they have these wonderful parties. And I don't go to a lot of these parties. They usually fall on an evening where I have to work the next day, but because they don't really take place on the weekends. But in general, they're fantastic parties. But I actually like our evening entertainment, and my ultimate favorite show, although it's been a little bit adjusted because our poor little dragon got hurt, but Fantasmic.
Of course.
Fantasmic on the Rivers of America is amazing. And I know over there and I think that Hollywood Studios, there's an actual stage that was built for it. But the Fantasmic in Disneyland is around Tom Sawyer's Island. And because of that, we get the large boats. We had an amazing dragon that unfortunately met its demise due to
there was some
fire.
unpleasantness.
Yeah, it did last a long time, and that was an amazing dragon.
There was a lot of smoke.
I think for what it is now, it's not as impactful, but it's still a good show. So if you ever get a chance, even if you've seen Fantasmic at Walt Disney World, you got to see Fantasmic at Disneyland, sitting at the Rivers of America.
Yeah,
so
Rivers
you
of
said
America.
Something about Tom Sawyer Island.
What
is that?
Oh,
I don't know what that is. Thanks, Luella. Thank you.
Okay.
That was a deep cut because I mean, I promised myself I wasn't going to go down this rabbit hole and bring up the unpleasantness that is the photos, the aerial shots that we were shown today of the destruction of Tom Sawyer's Island and Fort Clemens. Or what is the name of the fort there? Is it Fort Clemens? I don't remember.
Longhorn?
But the Fort Longhorn, that's right. And but it was sad and interesting at the same time because you got to see where the underground like tunnel was there. But yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Michael. That stings a little bit, and I miss you, Tom Sawyer Island. So who wants to go next?
See, I'm excited that it's getting darker earlier now because with these insane abbreviated hours at Animal Kingdom, by the time I get there is like a half hour before it's going to close anyway, and it's not dark. So now that it'll be dark by 5:30, I'll at least get to go in and, experience that park in the evening. I don't think they'll extend the hours much past 6 or 7 on the off nights when it's actually 7 p.m. But it'll be nice to see that place in the dark again.
Yeah, that park especially Pandora takes a whole different approach at night. I mean, Pandora was, I think was built for night. It looks fantastic during the day, but it really shines at night with the way they have the lighting set up and the backlight, the black lighting and everything else in that section, and the way the ground pretty much glows. Plus, when they light up the Tree of Life, I mean, how can you not love that? That's just awesome stuff. So
we'll have our
that
Tree
is
of
a
Life
good one.
nighttime show back again, so that'll be nice.
That was a nice show. Nighttime, they've really tried in the past to do nighttime stuff at Animal Kingdom. It's really been a thing. And it never seems to pan out. I mean, I kind of understand why they don't do it because of the animals that are there. They don't want to stress them out by having nighttime things. But I mean, I could also see the I don't know what I'm looking to say here, but the argument that it doesn't get busy enough to support a nighttime environment, but I think it does. I think Animal Kingdom looks incredible at night, and I think it's. I mean, the stuff they've done in the past. What was it? Rivers of Light. That was a pretty amazing water show. If I don't know who all in here has seen that, but that was a pretty amazing water show that we had at night at Animal Kingdom as well. So I think that park really shines really well. So who wants to go next?
I don't know if this is exactly what you're looking for, since it's
Mhm.
part of Mickey's Not So Scary, but I still love
No,
the
that's fine.
Boo to You parade. I'm a big fan of all the parades. I haven't seen. We left a little bit early last time I was at Magic Kingdom, so I haven't seen the new nighttime parade. But those are always my favorite at the end of the night. The parades, fireworks, but probably by far, I like the Boo to You parade.
And it's nice that they finally brought the parade back. I know it was gone for years and years and years, and I guess it wasn't necessarily impacting, new attendance, but it certainly
Mhm.
is until everyone has seen it. Certainly is drawing in the crowds in the evenings when they're running it. So it's still new, it's still fresh enough, and it's still going to get people in. So it's nice that now that they have it back,
Well,
hopefully they don't disappear on us anytime soon.
the whole Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween. I mean, there's so many wonderful things at that event itself. Of course, the Boo to You parade is the big draw to that event, and the fireworks as well. The fireworks show is amazing there as well. But one of my favorites at Mickey's Not So Scary is what they do with Space Mountain, making it completely pitch black, no lights whatsoever. When you go through the lift hill, and there is the like little rocket ship there, and you're going up into space, that's all completely dark, and it is so disorienting. I've never been on a coaster that made me as disoriented and almost dizzy as that one did with the lights completely out. And you would think that Space Mountain is dark already, but when you ride it like they have it for the Halloween party, it's a completely different experience.
Very fun.
So
Well,
I guess go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, if you're speaking about parades here in the West Coast,
Mhm.
my favorite evening parade, and they just brought it back for the 70th, is Paint the Night. And
Yes.
Paint the Night is kind of you would say, an updated version of Main Street Electrical Parade. And I
Mhm.
did love the Main Street Electrical Parade, but it did become a bit dated. I think that was an awesome parade when um, I was a little bit younger, and but I thought that this was a really nice homage. If you've never seen it,
Mhm.
I would Google it and watch it, because it's very infectious and it's a lot of fun. And they
Mhm.
do have the Baroque Codown playing in the music. You
Mhm.
can hear it. You can tell that it's the predecessor is Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yeah, it's definitely the 2.0. And you want to talk about a soundtrack on a parade. I mean, that is one of the best parade soundtracks I think that Disney has ever done. The collaboration with oh my gosh, what is the When Can I See You Again?
Wreck-It
That
Ralph.
that
It's from
Wreck-It Ralph. Well,
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of the group that came up with that song, and I can't think of it. Is it
I think
Owl
it's Owl
City? I think
City.
Owl City.
Owl
Yeah, Owl
City.
City.
Yeah.
Yeah, Owl City was the one who came up with that. And it is just an awesome collaboration, and it works so well. And what they do with the floats too, especially like the Cars floats with the Route 66 and Life is a Highway kind of like shoehorned in there. It's just it's one of those parades that just gets you excited from start to finish, and it's hard not to love every minute of it. So I totally agree with you on that. And it is, as much as I think that Disney Starlight, the new Disney Starlight, tries to be the predecessor to the electrical parade. I think they kind of tried to build it that way. I think that Paint the Night does a much better job than Disney Starlight does. That is, if you have not seen that parade, I was hoping for the longest time that they would bring that out to Orlando, but that has, because there was always rumors floating around that they were going to bring that over here and it was going to come on this coast and we were all excited, and then of course that never happened. But yeah, that is an incredible parade if you haven't seen it already. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my favorite nighttime park. And for me, it honestly doesn't get any better than Epcot. Between Spaceship Earth just glowing and dancing and having all the wonderful music that it has during its little light shows, and then of course the way the World Showcase pavilions look at night. Just walking around Epcot at night just feels special. And then, of course, fireworks. I mean, Epcot has always had world-class fireworks shows. I mean, Illuminations was one of the best fireworks shows that Disney has ever done. And from a technical standpoint too, if you think about everything they put into that show with the three different acts and the way the music progressed and everything else, it was more than a fireworks show. Disney put a lot of thought into that show. And I think that's why that show resonates with so many people still to this day. And they still talk about it a lot. You see a lot of people saying how they miss Illumination still. And of course, we have Luminous now, which is fine. It's a nice show, but it's definitely not an Illuminations. But Epcot will always have my heart for nighttime stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, Magic Kingdom is fantastic too. How can you not enjoy Happily Ever After or seeing a nighttime parade? Those things are great. I mean, the Happily Ever soundtrack is awesome. That is a great soundtrack. But Epcot, I think, wins it for me just because of it's not as like Magic Kingdom gets so crowded at night and so packed with people wanting to see the parades and the fireworks that it's become almost like a you have to plan out your night. You can't just go there and enjoy it at night. And there are rare occasions when that can happen where you can just pop into the parks and enjoy Magic Kingdom at night without a huge crowd, but that's just not something that you normally can do at Magic Kingdom. So that kind of takes away some points for me. But Epcot, you can roam the Rome World Showcase. There's seems to be booths every time of the year now. I mean, I don't know of any time that we don't have some sort of food booths at Epcot, to be honest with you,
How
anymore.
about
It seems like there's always a festival.
instead of just like the crowds, how about just physically, which is the park that you aesthetically love to look at? If you separate crowds, is
If
it
I
Epcot?
separate the crowds, it's
Yeah.
still Epcot for me, just
Mhm.
because I like the way that the World Showcase pavilions look like at night. Now, if I had to choose nighttime favorite nighttime park, I might sway a little towards Disneyland because I
Mhm.
like Disneyland at night, especially like Small World back there and everything with that, and just I think I would sway a little bit towards that way, but aesthetically, I think Epcot is definitely my favorite at Walt Disney World, just based on what it looks like at night. And of course, now that we have that amazing new lighting package on Spaceship Earth itself, that just looks so awesome. And you can see that from, I mean, people that are flying into Orlando see that amazing light show. So that's really cool. So that to me is awesome.
And see, to me, we find Epcot to be too dark at night, especially when we're leaving. You clear World Showcase and you're coming down, you're walking past Imagination and the land, and you start getting up toward the seas. You can't see a damn thing. It is dark. There's no overhead light. I mean, until you get up closer to Spaceship Earth, it's pitch black. There's nothing in the ground. There's nothing overhead. We're bumping into people. It's unpleasant. So you have to stay where the other end is. And usually we're running from the fireworks, as I've seen them, and we're not looking for those. So, I mean, I don't mind it at night, but they've got to do something to take care of the rest of the park.
Well, I can kind of see that some of those parts, and I think they have done a lot to try to combat that. Those new light poles that they have on the corners there are like those giant light poles that I'd have to pull them up so you guys can see them. But the giant light poles at Epcot, I think, help a lot with the lighting in the park, and I do agree it can be a little dimmer. Even World Showplace, for that matter, the new World Showplace, or what is it? Or is it World Showplace or World Sober? I don't know. But that area too, with the seating and everything else, can be a little bit dim. But I think that's also effect too, because they wanted to use that floor lighting that they put around the planters there, and that stuff hasn't really been working out well for them. So I don't know if that's they just didn't, they designed it around that stuff and that cut back on the lighting. But I can kind of see where you're going with that, but I mean, I never really have a problem with that, me personally.
See,
I think for me, go ahead. I was just gonna say, aesthetically, it's hard to choose a park, but I can choose a section, and I think there is nothing that is more beautiful at night than Cars Land in DCA.
Yeah,
especially
that's true.
right
I never
at
thought about that.
right at the start when dusk and they do
When they
the
switch it
balloon show.
over.
But from the moment you walk into the Radiator Springs, they had a great lighting expert. Whoever is the Imagineer who designed the lighting there, because it looks like the animated cartoon, yet it is just aesthetically beautiful to the human eye. And I just, every time I go in there, I'm just in awe. I don't need to write anything. I can just sit there and watch it. I think that is like perfection of knowing like the science of lighting. And I haven't ran into any other park or area that I feel brings out that beauty and takes advantage of the sun going down. So that's what I'm gonna put all my eggs in the basket for Cars Land.
No, that's a and the cool thing is too with Cars Land is riding Radiator Springs Racers at night is a great experience too, because you're riding through those canyons and everything else, in the dark, and it's a whole different experience than it is during the day. So plus,
and if
I mean,
you've ever done Run Disney, they run before the sun comes up through Cars Land, and that's always my favorite part.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
See,
that is
along
awesome.
those lines, I was going to say, love the studios at night, especially same thing when it transitioned and the lights start coming on right around Echo Lake. But I would imagine that's a lot like the way DCA is, with the Hollywood and the lights and the stoplights that start lighting up. And so to me, even Star Wars Land or whatever that little nonsense in the back there, the lighting, like you said, they really put some time into illuminating this and that and creating shadows and just making you look where you want. I'm always going to miss the Rizzo sign. My favorite gag to take a picture of every time. I got 70 pictures of it on my phone, but hey, look, it's Rat Pizza. So there's a lot of lovely things lit up over there. And again, I would imagine DCA is a lot close to that too.
Yeah, I mean, Cars, you're spot on. Cars Land and like the sign is like the sign for Rizzo, Pizza Rizzo, very very similar. That neon effect all over, which is just so pretty at night, and then seeing all the different shops and things like that actually lit up as well, like flows and everything like that is such a treat. So I will agree with Cars Land. But I think there's like some nostalgia for me with Disneyland, just knowing, that's what, that's where it all started, and then just seeing that at night and thinking of Walt being on those streets and walking Disneyland. I think that just sells it a little bit more for me. But I totally get what you're saying there about Cars Land. That is a very good pick. All right, who wants to go next? Anybody got any favorite nighttime parades, fireworks, you name it, past, present, future? Well, I guess we don't know the future, but or maybe I do.
And I'm the wrong guy to ask about that because, especially living local, fireworks mean one thing: shorter lines for attractions at that point. So I will let everyone stand and group around, and we just walk onto the mansion, walk onto Pirates. Usually those are the two we'll do because we can walk from one to the other. By the time we get out of Pirates, the line's built again. So that's all that is. And when the parade's on, we just use that little side exit because I don't need to watch it too many times. So you all can pick out your favorites there.
That's a great point that you bring up. And that I never thought about that contrast, because if you think about it, like here in Orlando, Walt Disney World is not really a locals park. It is people fly in to come. So going on Main Street and sitting there and waiting an hour, 2 hours on Main Street to watch the fireworks, and then pushing through that crowd to leave. Most locals don't do that unless it's like opening night for a show or something like that. They won't do that. They'll watch it once and then that's it. They've seen it. They're done. Now at Disneyland, being more of a locals park, I'm curious how that works for you guys, because of the fact that, I mean, a lot of those people that go there go a lot. So how does that work out there, Luella? Is it just as packed, or did people not have a lot of interest?
I think that's why they change up the fireworks, so that, for example, when the 70th party came out, I was there to try to see the fireworks. And now the implementation, a lot of the, what do you call it when they, gosh, it's on the tip of my tongue, but they projections.
Oh, yeah.
Like on the
3D mapping,
the 3D mapping on the castle, on the sides of the buildings, on the sides of the building, Small World,
which is amazing.
And they add that, so they add another layer. Will I camp out all the time? Probably not. And we but because they do up and change the fireworks, and they add, maybe a flying Baymax or the flying Dumbo. I mean, it's always fun to see. And I think that what we challenge over here in the West is, I think that Disneyland is surrounded by a city of Anaheim. So there are very strict rules with the wind when the fireworks are about to be, about to happen, and they release a white balloon. And if the white balloon is waving too much, you're not having fireworks that night, because that means the wind is too much. It's going to put the debris. So we have a lot of canceled fireworks. So, sometimes it's not really the best thing to camp out because you don't know if the fireworks are going to happen. So, and then it just makes it easier when it does happen, because they'll do it the next night and we'll see it. So I think the interest is still here as a locals park. And we just love it. Like, even I can stop and see if I feel in the mood, the fireworks. They did try to cut down on waiting more than 2 hours. I remember that became a rule. So I think that kind of helps. So you're just not camping out, but there's still people who wait a long time.
Then as a local, and it's something like that, as awesome as the nighttime shows are, the fireworks, if you're on vacation, okay, fine. I might not get back here for a year, so I want to watch these twice in a week. As a local, how many times are you really going to stop and sit through Fantasmic or Paint the Night or watch the fireworks again? If I saw it on Tuesday, am I going to come back on Thursday to watch it again? Or do I just catch it in another couple of weeks or next month or whenever?
I mean, Paint the Night is pretty good. I mean, I think that I lived out there, I would try to see it every night, like every time that I went. I mean, it's pretty good.
But the thing that I love about having like you said, it's not for everyone, but these are definite crowd suckers. So
yeah, that's true.
It is good to have an evening show, so that some people will stay there, and then the other people want to do rides. It just alleviates the crowd.
Yeah.
So, when Walt Disney World didn't have an evening parade for a long time, I thought that was that was an unfortunate thing for everyone because
Yeah.
it made all the lines longer. But a nighttime, show is, I think, part of the DNA of a theme park,
Yeah.
especially a Disney theme park,
Of
right?
course.
So
At this point,
it's exciting. Yeah.
at this point, if a Disney park doesn't have a nighttime show, unless it's not open at night, like Animal Kingdom, people start to wonder a little bit because it's like it's expected almost at this point. And there have been just truly some amazing nighttime shows. One of the most recent ones that I really fell in love with was at Disneyland Paris, which was the Electrical Sky Parade. Which, if you haven't seen that, please go watch videos on that, because that is an amazing, amazing use of the drone technology, and having the drones mixed in with the fireworks, mixed in with everything, and the soundtrack is so good for that. Um, I do think it's a little short, but that is an amazing, amazing nighttime show. I love that they were able to do all of that with the drones and then have basically the parade in the sky like that. That was pretty awesome. So if you haven't seen that one, you have to watch that one, because that is definitely one of my favorites. And I'm bummed that they ended that, or I never got a chance to see that in person. I'm bummed about that one. That would be one that I would want to definitely see in person. But yeah. Now let's ask you this, Luel. So you mentioned Paint the Night, but you don't mention World of Color.
Oh, no, World of Color is really nice. I was talking about parade, and then
okay,
I was only choosing one parade and one show. If I'm going to choose World of Color over Fantasmic, I'm choosing Fantasmic. But World of Color for that area is great, because DCA is a smaller park. There's not a lot of space. And what they could do with water and color, and they do also change that. They have they before had a Halloween show, and then they had a Christmas show. The most recent one incorporates, for the 70th, incorporates the Muppets. So it's projection on water, and that began with Fantasmic. So it's nice that they implemented that, because the space is so small in DCA. But that whole area, just with the lights and the reflection of the water, is really beautiful at night. I really enjoy looking at that at night, and it's a nice show. I think I prefer the original way back when, because they changed it, they updated it, and it's all about the music and what they show. And so but I think in general, just the technology and what it is, it's a good show. It's a good nighttime show. It's incorporated with the dessert parties. They, like as all the other ones, you can get a dessert party to sit closer, but it's a nice evening option.
And what's nice about a show like that is that they can very easily update it as they need to.
Yeah.
And whether it means taking out a segment that's either a little slow or not as popular, or adding another 3, 4, 5 minutes to the show and building in some current properties, or you want to promote something, very easy to swap out. Something new for the locals to see. It's always going to be a crowd pleaser. I think of how they snuck in something to PhilharMagic. Not the biggest thing in the world, but all of a sudden I'm sitting there like, hey, it's Coco. That wasn't here last time. So something easy to update, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to swap out.
Yeah, because they're using that water projection. It's very easy to change that out, and that's very cool technology too. Being able to display that. I mean, Universal has that stuff over here too at Universal Studios Florida with their nighttime shows. But yeah, that's some very cool tech. And I mean, to be fair too, you have a great view, because you're staring at Mickey. Well, I call it Mickey's Fun Wheel, but that's not the name anymore. But Mickey's Fun Wheel, and I call it Mickey's Fun Wheel of Death, because rocking in that thing looks just unbelievably terrifying. But beyond that, you have Incredicoaster back there too, and then of course just all of Pixar Pier. So that is just an amazing, amazing backdrop for that show. So that is a very, very good show for us to be talking about here. Now, let's go back to Hollywood Studios. Now, of course, I would say the big draw of Hollywood Studios, of course, for their nighttime shows is Fantasmic, which Fantasmic is the best nighttime show at Hollywood Studios, hands down. I personally, and don't take offense to this, Luella, I like Fantasmic over here better than I do in California. But that's just my opinion.
Well,
I
I
think it
mean,
is a much
that's
better
your
show out here.
Fantasmic, you know. I'm
That's true.
that's your Fantasmic, so that's your memory. So, I mean, when I don't think you had the whole Peter Pan scene, you know,
I don't think we
with
did.
yeah, I mean, when you see the Peter Pan scene, it's amazing. They did for a short time change it to pirates, and that was okay. But the Peter Pan, I mean, I don't think anything can top that. So
We had what felt like a 75-minute painful Pocahontas segment
Oh,
that
oh
God.
yeah.
just dragged
Come
on
on.
and on, and
Oh,
nobody.
I liked it. I
Governor
liked it.
Ratcliffe came out like, "Who the heck is that? What is he saying? I don't know what this is." Didn't appeal to the little kids. It was
Wow.
just a terrible addition.
Wow.
Yeah,
No, but I mean, you know, you have
bring back Peter
nostalgia.
Pan. That
You have
sounds
like,
better.
yeah, I can't blame you for knocking something because that's kind of your Fantasmic. So, and it's kind of like our like Pirates is a little bit different, but I think
Mhm.
regardless if it's the same ride, you should see both sides. You know,
Yeah, of
so
course.
you know, because
Of
it's really
course.
not the same. But
Yeah, it really isn't the same.
Which is better because
There's
at
a
least it gives folks the incentive to get out to California.
yeah.
It works for me.
Now the reason why I brought up Hollywood Studios is because we have had some fireworks shows at Hollywood Studios before. We've had some I mean I always go back to the Star Wars Galactic Spectacular, excuse me. That was one of my favorite fireworks shows at Hollywood Studios. Probably my favorite fireworks show at Hollywood Studios. I think there's only been what uh 4 fireworks shows at Hollywood Studios. Yeah, 4 fireworks shows at Hollywood Studios. So that would definitely be my favorite. Do you guys have any favorites from Hollywood Studios?
Don't watch them. I mean, I'll listen to them on the way out, but if I had eyes in the back of my head, it'd be easier to see them as I'm heading to
But
my
see
car.
the thing about Hollywood Studios, I think, is because Hollywood Boulevard is so wide. I don't think it's as hard to get out as it is at Magic because and the other thing is too the way they handle that Fantasmic exit where you exit out to the back. I think alleviates a lot of the crowd too. So I personally find Hollywood Studios to be an easier to exit park um, than Magic Kingdom, especially even though Magic Kingdom now they're using the side pathway there behind Main Street pretty regularly. But the last time I was on Main Street and got caught in fireworks, we were trying to leave and people just stopped and it was a whole mess. So and they wouldn't let us go through the Tomorrowland Terrace and exit that way. It was a whole mess. But I do think that Hollywood Studios is a lot easier to get out of than Magic Kingdom when it comes to fireworks and of course the nighttime shows there.
And you're right, that new exit that they configured, game changer to get folks out when you had to leave the same way you came in.
Yeah.
And everyone's leaving at once, and you're like, might as well just sit because I'm not leaving for days.
Yeah.
The new thing is really opening up a good flow.
It's keeping it moving as long as they can route people the right way. It definitely keeps things moving a lot there. So, but yeah, I mean, there have been so many great nighttime shows, great nighttime experiences. You know, I will say, I know we talked about this earlier, but your after hours events, things like that, at the parks too. We've had some Mickey's Very Merry Christmas is a tradition for a lot of people every year doing that, doing the parade there and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Parade, all those things. I mean, it's just that is another one that is a staple for a lot of people, as is Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which I honestly between the two, if I had to choose, it would always be Mickey's Not So Scary for me, just because I lean more into the spooky side and I like the villains and everything else that brings to the table. Which, of course, excited for Villains Land, going to be amazing. Hoping we get more details soon on that. They released some more info on that, but hey, they're working on it, especially now since they've torn down a lot of things over there. But yeah, I mean, do you guys have any other nighttime things that you want to add about that you like to do at the parks? Is there anything that you like? You have any special rides or anything that you like to do at night while you're at the parks?
TTA for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, just Tomorrowland. If I'm going to be in Magic Kingdom, Tomorrowland's my favorite area as far as the music piped in, fireworks if you want to see them,
Mm-hmm.
all the neon and everything's lit up beautifully. But each area has its own charm at night. You go through Adventureland and you've got the torches. You go through Frontierland and you have the flickering lanterns. Obviously, Main Street with all the the lit up stuff. I think almost Fantasyland's my least favorite part at night over there. It just seems so basic
Well,
somehow.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
not
I
as
can agree with. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that. Yeah, I was gonna say there's not as much over at Fantasyland. I don't think either.
I
Um,
I in New Fantasyland, are we? I don't know if we're still calling it new. We were calling it New Fantasyland for a while there. I don't know if we still are, but in New Fantasyland, by like the Ariel ride, and of course like Storybook Circus and things like that. I do think those have a lot of they look great at night, especially Storybook Circus. I think Storybook Circus looks really great at night, and I think the Barnstormer is a great ride to do at night. Just something fun to do. Usually has a low wait at night, and you can, honestly, if there's no one there, you could probably ride that thing back to back as many times as you want. But I think Storybook Circus is great, and then of course not too far from Storybook Circus, if you walk down the pathway there, you have of course Tron, which is probably, I would say, the best thing at Magic Kingdom at night right now is probably Tron, just due to the lighting package and everything else. And especially now with them having the Tron Ares overlay and having the soundtrack in there and everything else, which is just mind-blowingly good. I definitely need to see that movie soon. But that is probably that's probably my pick in Magic Kingdom for nighttime stuff would be the Tron area, and of course, riding the People Mover at night is an awesome experience as well, especially when you turn around the corner and you're right past as you exit Buzz Lightyear and then go through that corner there, and you get to see the castle shot right there. That's a great spot for seeing the fireworks right there if you happen to catch it at the right time.
I was thinking of two more things.
Of course,
The fireworks at 4th of July and New Year's
of course.
Eve at Magic
Hmm.
Kingdom, or even at Epcot, are a little bit extra. Not a little bit
Hmm.
extra, a lot extra compared to the
Yes,
normal every night events. So I just
and if you
thought about
have
that.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen the fireworks at Epcot for New Year's Eve, that is something that I've done so many times. Between what they do at night with the dance parties around the World Showcase, having all those countries just having dance parties, and I mean huge dance parties with dragons that spit fire and laser shows that are festival quality, to the countdown to midnight where they launched the fireworks behind each country in order of when they had New Year's, which is always so cool to see. And it's amazing how they get that perfectly timed every year. So when it's right there at the time it's midnight. So that is a really cool that New Year's Eve and 4th of July too. Listening to the Heartbeat of Freedom. You can actually look that soundtrack up on YouTube if you want to. The Heartbeat of Freedom, which is the soundtrack for the 4th of July fireworks. Another great show, especially when they light those fireworks behind the American Pavilion at the end of the show there. That is a really cool show. And then, of course, for all of you that don't know, one of the things that they do for those two fireworks events is they bring out what has been nicknamed, and I didn't come up with this name. This is just the name of it, but they call it the World War III barge, and this is just a basic metal floating barge that is loaded with so many fireworks charges, that when they set this thing off, which they always do on 4th of July and New Year's, it'll literally take your breath away. There are so many fireworks. It is so incredibly loud, and you can see it. It's just a little barge with fencing around it, and you'll see the guys out there loading the charges for the fireworks, and then it sits in the middle of the lagoon, and then until it's time for the show, and that thing is crazy. So doing those types of things, I say always do those at least once. I mean, I know there's crowds and everything else. Actually, 4th of July wasn't that bad this year, but like New Year's Eve, definitely there are definitely crowds for that. But doing that at least once, you have to do it just to see what it's like.
I agree.
All right,
It's incredible.
Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to add to our show tonight about nighttime in the parks? Any tips, any tricks, anything?
I think I am all night-timed out.
Well, then I guess that means it's time for our bedtime here at the Mouse Minds podcast, because we are actually recording this at night like we do every week at 8:30 on all your favorite streaming platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, TikTok now, Mouse Minds on Facebook. You can find us everywhere, shape, or form, even at the Tomorrowland stage. Hi to all the people on the People Mover. We're still going to just go with that story that's really happening. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this week's show. This has been an awesome show because I'm so glad that we had everyone here this week. And of course, next week, we'll have an even more amazing topic for you guys. Before I wrap up the show here, guys, do you have anything else that you want to say before we end this?
I just want to say welcome back, Lisa. It is so great to see you again.
It is great to see you, Lisa.
Good to
and welcome
see
back,
all of you
Luello, as
guys.
well.
Right. Oh,
Yeah.
No,
I'm
great
not
to
talking
see
about
you.
the every
Alaska this
other week
time.
person. I'm talking about the one who disappeared on us 5 months
True.
ago without even a
Yes.
Christmas card or a birthday card. Just gone.
Ooh.
Christmas was
That
5 months
one.
ago.
Ooh.
Wasn't
Oh.
it? I don't know.
No, it was actually more than that. But we're gonna let that go 5 months because we don't want to make her feel any worse than Michael has already made her feel.
Thanks, Michael.
Hey, I'm just happy to have you back. Thank you.
It really shows. It really shows. All right. So I think that's going to do it for this week's show, everybody. Make sure you check us out every Friday at 5 on your favorite podcasting platform, whatever that may be. If that's Spotify, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcasts, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone to listen to the Mouse Minds podcast and join us every week at 8:30 on your favorite podcasting or on your favorite live streaming platform, whatever that may be. And we were so glad that you joined us this week. And as I always say, if you can dream it, you can do it. So get out there and dream a little bit today and do it. So thank you guys for joining us and have a great rest of your week.